Hey everyone, this is Jeff Douglas, physical therapist and certified athletic trainer, and today we're going to talk about the bird dog. Now, the bird dog became familiar to me after I took a course with an individual named Stuart McGill, and he's a professor at Waterloo University up in Canada, and he's done low back research for many years. So if you're in the fitness industry or chiropractor, physical therapist, you've probably heard of him. But he's done a lot of great work, and because of him, I gained a lot of confidence treating low back patients. And so he has a group of exercises called the non-negotiable 3, and one of them is the bird dog. And so I'm gonna go over the bird dog, why I like it, and usually I don't like to give cookie cutter recipe exercises to people. But this is one where if someone says, I have low back pain, I would probably be like, okay, I feel safe, I feel comfortable prescribing this to them without ever looking at them, because you really can't do much damage or go wrong with this one. So I'm gonna talk about it from a performance standpoint and a pain standpoint when we get into this, all right? And an assessment standpoint. So first, we're gonna dive into the assessment part of it. And so the position you get into is you come on down and you go hands and knees here. So your hands are gonna be under your shoulder and your hips are gonna be over your knees. So you're gonna be in all fours. You should be able to change the position of your back and your pelvis with an anterior and a posterior pelvic tilt right there. And where we wanna get to is we wanna be in a neutral spine. So the natural curvature of the spine is where we wanna be in this exercise. So there's the two extremes. There's being flexed, there's being extended. Right in the middle is usually neutral, okay? And so when I have a patient who's in back pain, with this one, what I'm going to look at when I set them up is shoulder strength, shoulder stability. I'm going to look at the ability for them just right away, just get in that position. Can they change the position of their hip without changing the position of their upper back when they're doing it? And then once we perform the exercise, can they keep their back locked in, their low back, and move at the hips and shoulders without causing any movement throughout their spine? So that's important, especially for someone that's in a lot of pain or their back is sensitive. Now, as people are less sensitive in sports, you could probably, there's a little more wiggle room with that, all right? But here we go. So we're gonna come on down. Hands again are under the shoulders, hips are right over your knees, getting that neutral back. So the first thing I wanna see, can they push through their shoulders here and not move their elbow, because this is gonna get some serratus anterior muscle right in the shoulder. We wanna work on the stability of that, okay? So we're right there. And what the exercise looks like is you're gonna kick one hand forward and one hand back. And I wanna make a big strong fist with the hand that I'm moving. And when I kick back, I want my foot not to be pointed. I wanna lead with the heel, because that's gonna create a little more neural drive through the glutes and hamstrings doing that. So think about, I'm reaching forward and I'm reaching back. So I'm trying to punch straight forward with my fist. I'm trying to kick straight back with my heel. Lead with the heel, not the toes. And then you'll see a lot of times that you're gonna droop down with the shoulder. And this is where it shows if you have good shoulder strength, shoulder stability. I want you up, strong with that shoulder, all right? And then you can come on in and you can either tap your elbow and knee, or you just stop right in this area, kick it back out, all right? What you'll see now, and what we're looking for from an assessment standpoint, again, this is shoulder strength, but what are the hips doing, and are they moving at the back? So someone who can't decipher between their back and their hips, when they go back, you might see it round, or you may see it arch extra, okay? And another mistake I see many people do, or I don't want people doing with this one, is I don't want you punching up or kicking up. Straight back, straight forward, it should be all at the hips. So a good rep will look like this. Very little movement happening here. You can do abdominal bracing. We'll talk about that on another video, what that is. But you should be abdominal bracing, big breath into the stomach, punch forward, punch back, and hold right there. So from an assessment standpoint, why I like it, I can look at hip stability. I can look and see if they can decipher anterior pelvic tilt. Can they move at the hips? I can look at hip stability. If I were to go forward with you, do their hips go down or up? Can they control that? And also when they do the exercises, are they only moving at the hips or moving at the back? So some people will compensate when they're walking or moving, and all their motion will come in the low back. That's putting extra stress there versus using the ball and socket joint to do the motion at the hip. And so I'm gonna show you some ways now that you can kind of evaluate what your hips are doing. I'm gonna be using a Valslide. Another thing I absolutely love is a yoga block for this. And so you're gonna get in that position, find that neutral spine, pushing through the shoulders, and I'm gonna take that item, and I'm gonna set it right in my low back. Now, what I love about yoga blocks is there's 3 levels you can use the yoga block. You can use the most surface area as the easiest, level 1. You can flip it on the long way, and that'll be level 2 that has a little less surface area, or you can stand it up, and so there's the least amount of surface area, which makes it more challenging as feedback, whether if you're moving your back too much or your hips are not stable. I'm just gonna use this for now, it's easy. You can make it a little more challenging because it's slippery on one side versus tough on that. Get back in this position, and all we're gonna do is we're going to perform the exercise, and we should see this be rock solid. If I was doing it wrong and going up and down, you're gonna see it move if I'm moving at my back versus my hips, or if I have some rotation, either way, it's gonna slide off. And that gives you feedback knowing that you aren't keeping your back level, or if you're moving in the back region right there. So that's one, from a pain standpoint, as a physical therapist, an exercise that I absolutely love. Now, how do I do sets and reps? It varies. You know, it's all about understanding how much time the person has, what's their skill level, what's their experience. Now, if I wanted to take a step back and make this easier, because I'm gonna have some people that can't even do that, and that's okay, we all start somewhere. Come here, and what you can do is you can just do one at a time, okay? So you can just sit here, kick one leg out. The same rules apply. I'm not going up, and I'm still not trying to move at my back when I do it, okay? Can I do that? Beautiful, if you can do that, I can punch one hand forward. I can also shorten the distance. So maybe right now, I'm not ready to go to full, shoulder flexion, hip extension here. Maybe I just go out a little bit. Can I keep that? Bring it back in. Kick it out again. Bring that, work and find that distance, how far out you can go before you feel, and again, you should have your cheat thing here to let you know if you're cheating, to give you the feedback, or you have another pair of eyes, or even videotape, but that takes more time. Okay? So that's one way to regress the exercise. Now I'm gonna show you how can we make this exercise tougher. So there's a few things from just building strength and endurance. Let's hold it out there longer. So when I kick out, I can hold that position. Maybe it's 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Usually I go no more than 8 seconds per side. Bring it in, and I go the other side. So you gotta remember, this is a bilateral exercise, so you have to do the even amount on both sides with this. And you may notice a difference. So when you kick out, you might see with maybe your right leg and left arm, your hips move, but when you switch it, it's nice and steady. So we might find some imbalances. Again, things that I'm evaluating when I'm working with clients who are in pain. Why is that? A lot of times when someone's in pain, muscles shut off, or they just have a weak link that we need to build up, so then that can help strengthen them up and hopefully take away their pain. Okay, so I'm gonna show you another example of how we can progress this exercise. So you can do the same thing, but if you've ever seen the wrist weights or ankle weights, all you would do is strap it on the wrist or grab a really light 1, 2, 3 pound weight in your hand. Again, your ankle, you're probably gonna need a strap. You can't grab the weight like you can with your hands. The nice things about hands. But all you do, right? Wrap it around the wrist, wrap it around the ankle, straight forward, straight back, would add a little more resistance working against gravity with it. Another one you can do, I'm gonna bring this in here, is we can take a band. And there's different ones. Some ones have like little loops that are a little easier. But what I like to do here is wrap it around the foot, grip it the opposite side, and you're gonna need a band that's not too strong, because otherwise you're not gonna be like the full extension and flexion here. But you're gonna be here, neutral back, make a strong fist, kick straight out and forward. Bring it back in. Straight out and forward, and hold it. So adding a little resistance with a band can also make this exercise a little tougher, add a little wrinkle to it. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you found my information helpful, please subscribe, and also you can turn on your notifications so when more information comes out, you're right on it. Take care.